Procrastination. It's a cycle that many of us find ourselves trapped in day after day. But what if I told you that breaking this cycle is not only possible but also scientifically proven? Today, we're going to dissect the anatomy of procrastination and equip you with the tools to overcome it once and for all. Let's start by understanding the core components of the procrastination cycle: cue, craving, and action. These three elements form the backbone of our habitual behaviors, including the habit of putting things off. First, we have the cue. This is the trigger that initiates the procrastination cycle. It could be a notification on your phone, a daunting task on your to-do list, or even a fleeting thought about an upcoming deadline. The key is to identify these cues in your daily life. They're often subtle, but they're always there, lurking beneath the surface of your consciousness. Now, let's visualize this on our whiteboard. Imagine a large circle divided into 3 sections. In the first section, we'll write cue in bold letters. This is where it all begins. Moving clockwise, we come to the second component, craving. Once the cue has been triggered, your brain starts to crave a certain feeling or outcome. In the case of procrastination, this craving is usually for immediate gratification or relief from discomfort. You might crave the dopamine hit from scrolling through social media or the temporary escape from a challenging task. In our circle on the whiteboard, we'll add craving to the second section. This is where the internal struggle begins, where your rational mind battles against your emotional impulses. Finally, we arrive at action. This is the behavior that results from the cue and craving. In the context of procrastination, the action is often avoidance or delay. You choose to watch another episode of your favorite show instead of starting that report. Or you decide to reorganize your desk for the 3rd time this week rather than tackling your inbox. Let's complete our circle by adding action to the final section. This visual representation helps us understand how these 3 components are interconnected, forming a self-perpetuating cycle. Now that we've mapped out the cycle, let's focus on how to break it. The key lies in disrupting this sequence at its weakest points, the cue and the craving. Identifying the cue is crucial. It requires self-awareness and honest introspection. Start by keeping a procrastination log. Every time you find yourself procrastinating, jot down what triggered it. Was it a specific time of day? A particular task? An emotional state? Over time, patterns will emerge, allowing you to pinpoint your most common procrastination cues. On our whiteboard, let's draw a magnifying glass next to the cue section, symbolizing the importance of closely examining these triggers. Once you've identified your cues, the next step is to replace the craving. This is where the real work begins. Instead of allowing your brain to crave avoidance or distraction, train it to desire productivity and accomplishment. One effective strategy is to reframe the task at hand. Instead of viewing it as a burden, try to find aspects of it that align with your personal goals or values. For instance, if you're procrastinating on a work project, focus on how completing it will contribute to your professional growth or bring you closer to a promotion. Another powerful technique is to break the task into smaller, more manageable chunks. This reduces the perceived difficulty and makes it easier to get started. On our whiteboard, let's draw a series of small steps leading up to the action section, illustrating this concept of breaking tasks down. Additionally, you can create a reward system for yourself. Pair the completion of tasks with small rewards that satisfy your craving for positive emotions. This could be as simple as allowing yourself a short break to enjoy a cup of coffee after finishing a section of your work. Let us add a small gift box icon next to the craving section on our whiteboard to represent this reward system. By systematically addressing the cue and replacing the craving, you'll find that the action naturally shifts from procrastination to productivity. It's important to remember that this is a process, not an overnight transformation. Consistency and patience are key. To further reinforce this new cycle, consider implementing environmental changes. Clear your workspace of distractions. Use website blockers during focused work periods, or even change your physical location to one associated with productivity. On our whiteboard, let's draw a new circle next to our original procrastination cycle. In this new circle, we replace procrastination with productivity and show how the same cue-craving action sequence can work in your favor when properly managed. As we conclude, remember that breaking the procrastination cycle is about creating new neural pathways in your brain. Each time you successfully identify a cue, replace the craving, and take positive action, you're strengthening these pathways. Over time, productivity will become your new default mode. Let us end our whiteboard illustration with an arrow pointing from the procrastination circle to the productivity circle. Symbolizing this transition, breaking the procrastination cycle isn't about willpower alone. It's about understanding the underlying mechanisms of your behavior and systematically rewiring them. By focusing on the cue and craving stages, you can interrupt the cycle before it leads to procrastination. Start small, be consistent, and celebrate your progress along the way. With time and practice, you'll find yourself naturally gravitating towards productivity, leaving procrastination behind as a relic of your past. Remember, every moment is an opportunity to make a different choice. The next time you feel the urge to procrastinate, pause, identify the cue, replace the craving, and take that first small step towards action. Your future self will thank you for it.